All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our little Q&A birthday celebration. Not really sure what to call this, but welcome to the stage, everyone that's on the Discord itself. Welcome everyone on Twitch and YouTube. Hopefully you're able to see this. I guess the main thing everyone's been wondering about, been questioning, which is where's QuestCraft on the Quest 3? And alongside that, how was QuestCraft doing for the Quest 2, Quest Pro, and eventually the Quest 1? If you might have saw yesterday, we posted a thing in the devlogs channel, basically giving a short overview of where we're kind of at with things. But to build off top of that, with the release of the Quest 3, there's been a few technical changes on the Quest 3 itself, including a updated GPU, which, while it is much faster and has a lot more features for QuestCraft, there is an issue with the drivers. To put it simply, the drivers is what helps the game and the GPU communicate with each other. And one of the issues is that Qualcomm and Meta have a custom GPU in the headset, something that's not readily available for most people or most devices. And the issue with that is drivers seem to have a lot of compatibility issues with that. So with the situation we're in, we've been working to find workarounds and stuff like that, trying to see if we can somehow fix it or kind of avoid the issue in general. And we're still trying to look for a few ways like that. However, with the complexity of the issue and the limited resources we have from both Qualcomm and Meta, we have been considering a few new options, including making our own driver for QuestCraft, and essentially it'll be a lot more flexible for us, it'll be a lot more stable, it'll offer much more performance, and in general it'll be a much better driver for what we're doing. However, the issue with making a new driver is the fact that it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to do something like that. It's a very complex task, a very complex thing to work with, and at the moment we're still trying to decide on how to go about everything. Eventually in the future we may be completing that driver. We are also looking at other drivers that exist, stuff like that, trying to see what we can get working, at least in the meantime, so all the Quest 3 users can get QuestCraft working. We do have a slight workaround right now. It's not perfect. There's a lot of issues with it, and that's why it's locked under the Patreon builds right now. So hopefully in the future we'll be able to get that figured out. But at the moment we're still looking into things, seeing how we can get the issue resolved. As for the other headsets, Quest 1 to the Quest Pro, those headsets at the moment, they have had a lot of issues recently. We know with the release of V62, which just recently dropped, there's been a few issues with that as well. We're still looking into all of those issues, being only me and Judge as the developers with very little external help. It does take a considerable amount of time to get to those smaller issues and those less common issues. However, we are trying to make sure that those other headsets are also being worked on in the meantime as well. So I'd say within the next month, hopefully we'll get a good amount of those bugs fixed for all non-Quest 3 users, and that should resolve, that next build coming up should resolve most of those issues, if not all of them. As for Quest 3 times, we don't have any ETA for that. As we've kind of set about a year ago. We no longer do ETAs simply because it's too hard to estimate what's coming up next. You know, we could run into an issue that kind of blows everything out of the water and forces us to restart from the beginning or something. You know, there's a lot of different things and a lot of edge cases that make it too difficult to give ETAs for things like that. So for now, there will be no Quest 3 ETA. We're hoping for sometime this year. I'm assuming it's not going to take past that, but with a project like this and how volatile it can be, it may happen, it may not. So we'll see how things go with the Quest 3. As for the future of QuestCraft, with QuestCraft as it is at the moment, like I said, we've been really focusing on getting bugs and issues fixed. However, throughout that process, we've also been working on a lot of new features for QuestCraft, a lot of new improvements as well, such as a new redesign launcher, which we'll eventually be putting out, as well as things like the updated mod manager, which has support for mod packs, which will, whenever you download them or add them, they'll make a new instance of itself. There will also be a resource pack downloader next to that, where you'll be able to download resource pack directly from inside the launcher to your Minecraft instance. And the same goes for data packs. We're working with Modrinth to get data packs implemented and fully supported. So data packs will be a thing soon that you can download from the mod manager. Alongside that, we've been looking into lots of performance improvements. There's a few ideas we have, a few things that we want to implement soon that should boost the performance dramatically. And right now, what we're thinking is after all of the performance improvements and everything, we're looking at around 60 FPS for the Quest 2. Maybe more depending on how you have the settings inside of QuestCraft. But in general, the performance so far that we've seen throughout our testing has been fairly decent, sometimes getting up to 72 FPS on the Quest 3. So that's something we're still working on and trying to improve as well. Another thing, once QuestCraft finally up and running again to its max, I guess you could say, meaning it's working on all Quest headsets, we do want to start looking into other headsets, such as the Pico. We've worked on the Pico version already, however, it got heavily delayed because of the Quest 3 issues, as well as other bugs that we've needed to fix. So eventually, we do want to start spreading out to other headsets. We did our YVR one, however, YVR is a headset only sold in mainland China. However, after doing that, we do want to spread out to more headsets like the Pico and possibly the standalone Pimax headsets that have recently come out. So we'll see after we're able to be a little bit more free with what we're doing. And then after that, and hopefully ensuring that there should be no more issues for the long term, eventually we do want to set the project into LTS. LTS means long-term support. And basically, while the game will be updated, so QuestCraft will be getting all the latest versions of Minecraft, and any external mods will be updated, stuff like that. Actual improvements and like feature additions and stuff like that won't be much of a priority as we start shifting our focus onto other things, like Digital Genesis, which is our own game studio where we do a variety of different games and game types. However, at the moment, we don't really know when that will be. so I wouldn't be too worried about anything like that for a decent while now. Outside of that, I think that should cover most of the main topics I wanted to kind of get addressed and get out of the way. Next, as the title says, for the stream and the event and everything, QuestCraft was released 3 years ago, and throughout the past 3 years, it's been a very wild ride dealing with, I mean, a lot of the issues from dealing with a lot of issues from Meta and Oculus, as well as getting certain things fixed and trying to figure out what to do next, things like that. But beyond that, we've had a really wild time just in general with the community, the staff members, stuff like that. 3 years ago, me and Judge being kind of the forefront of a lot of QuestCraft and what was happening. I don't think either of us really ever expected QuestCraft to get this big and to have so much going on with it. And I think that in general, we do want to have QuestCraft be a even bigger project in the future. We want it to grow and expand some more. It's just seeing kind of where things take us and how the future for QuestCraft is. I think I can say for everyone on my team that QuestCraft has been an extremely fun project to work on. It can be stressful at times, but at the end of the day, knowing that we get to work on something as big as this and get to provide a experience, whether new or old, for thousands of people, it really is, I guess, a simple way of putting it is a dream come true. Getting the opportunity to watch everyone play something we've created, something I don't think any of us really ever expected to see happen, nonetheless at a scale this large. So we do want to thank all of you guys for your support throughout the last 3 years and sticking around, watching this project grow, and especially our patrons who have been financially supporting us, helping us be able to continue working on this. It is a very big time consumer to work on this project. So we want to say a big thank you to everyone that has supported us throughout the past few years. Hopefully we can bring QuestCraft to a lot more headsets, a lot more faces, and eventually, I don't know, maybe we'll do some even bigger things and stuff like that. I know we have a few projects lined up that we want to work on and that we've teased before, like SVR Native, which we haven't spoke on much recently, but it is still something me and Judge are looking into and working on in the background, just trying to find the best way to execute that. So from the QuestCraft team, we all thank you a lot for this, and to all the staff, I want to thank you guys for sticking around, working on this for as long as you guys have. You guys are definitely the MVPs behind a lot of this. I mean, none of this would have happened without the support of the staff team, so thank you to all of them. And yeah,
Darren, I just got something to say real quick.
go on.
So, I joined QuestCraft 2 years ago, not knowing what was going to happen, and it has been a rollercoaster ride of emotions, ups, downs, highs, lows. The highs have been really high, and the lows have been really crappy with a couple of the releases of what MetaQuest done to the whole thing, especially with the stress I've seen it put my good friends through, for example, Darian and Judge, Ulcad and Judge, and it's been absolutely amazing journey. We got to go to gaming events, California. We got to go and see all you lovely people who are in the chat right now, in the Discord right now, and have fantastic times. So what I want to say more than anything is thank you for the community that's been built up behind this, and thank you for your patience, your excitement, and your passion for this project overall.
All right. Well, with that, I think we can start with our actual FAQ section of this. I know that's what most of you are here for. So if you are in the Discord, make sure to join the stage, the dev stage at the very top of the server, and there will be a little button you can hit where you'll be able to request. You'll be able to request to ask a question, and we will do our best to answer as many questions as possible. We'll most likely go till around 4 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, so make sure that if you're in the Discord, join up, ask a couple questions.
Derek, one of the questions that we get a lot in the chats is, can they see the current state of Quest 3? We do have a video showing the border issues we've been having recently. And for those of you who are watching, potential seizure warning up ahead.
Yeah, make sure that if you have epilepsy or anything of the such, try to not pay attention to it. And we will tell you when it is done. So as you can see, this is currently the state of the project. This is kind of what we've been dealing with for the past few months now, trying to figure out why this happens and fix it the best way we can. We've found ways to improve it and make it less of an issue. However, it's still something that exists and something we still have to work on to make sure it doesn't happen. Because obviously we don't want people with epilepsy or anything possibly having a seizure playing it. Alright, we will start bringing up some people now. We're going to bring up Patrons first. So if you're a Patreon member, feel free to raise your hand. We'll be bringing you guys up first. Alright, next up we'll have Charlie. You've been invited to speak.
Yeah, so yeah. Okay, hi. So, right. Do you guys plan on bringing QuestCraft to like big servers like PvP Legacy or Hypixel? Something like that. Something along like that.
So when it comes to those kinds of partnerships, I guess community-esque things, we do want to partner with a few servers. However, we have to, one, ensure that there's no unfair advantages with having something like QC, but two, also making sure that the goals of the server align with our goals as well. We want to make sure that it's a good fit between both of our communities, and we want to make sure that there's no possible issues that can occur. We're very hesitant to join a lot of servers right now. However, we have started reaching out to a few.
And also, I've been seeing a lot of questions about the official server and where that has gone. There's a big situation on that. You can find it in announcements, or contact me directly for the whole story if you'd like.
Yeah. Also, another thing, if you guys want to see QuestCraft join up with bigger servers or basically get more partnerships or anything like that, we do have a Twitter. We do tweet sometimes on there. Also, message your favorite creators, asking them about QuestCraft, or in general, just start talking a bit more about QuestCraft and other servers and see if anyone's interested in these bigger servers with high pixels and stuff like
that. I will I will be bringing up Jupiter.
So my biggest question of all is, will QuestCraft ever come to the Quest 2 store natively?
So when it comes to having QuestCraft on something like the normal store, that's a very hard question to ask. Or sorry, answer. Sorry.
Answer.
And the reason it's hard to answer is because we have to really be at the mercy of whether meta allows it or not. We have made attempts at releasing it. However, we've been waiting until the game is before we push it out to anything like App Lab or the normal store. So at the moment, all I can really say is it's something we've been thinking of and something we will look into some more. But I can't really give a yes or no on that at the moment.
So, is the QuestCraft going to be multiplayer soon or not?
It has been multiplayer.
Yeah, QuestCraft, you were able to play QuestCraft on normal Minecraft servers. Now, some servers may ban you for using QuestCraft because they see it as a cheat client or something, which obviously QuestCraft isn't. However, it's a little... How do I put this? It's very easy to set up a QuestCraft multiplayer server, or even just use a normal Minecraft multiplayer server, since it works just the same as normal PC. I believe we do have a thing in the bot that tells you how to do it, as well as a few resources in the FAQ channel that you should be able to go to. Yeah, so if you do /servers with the crafty bot, you should be able to do that in the bot commands channel. It'll tell you how to set up a server that should work 100% with QuestCraft.
My question is QuestCraft like the Essentials mod, is that supported, or is that because I saw videos on that it was supported, is that actually going to be supported, the Essentials mod?
It won't be officially supported, but you can of course install it.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, we have fixed the issues with Essentials mod, so it should work, at least
Like
for the
right
most
now,
part.
it works on.
I believe so. It should work right now.
I'm pretty sure even the builds that the Quest 2 users have without Patreon do work with Essentials because they fix their stuff.
Also, whilst we're waiting for the next person, I do want to say, if you have any questions about any mods or anything like that, we do have QuestCraft support there ready for you to ask questions and anything technical like that. If you have any issues with the game, make sure to put in a ticket and let the support staff know, and they'll let the higher-ups know as well.
Alright, hello.
Hello,
I had two questions. One's more personal. Of the new features you guys were talking about, which one's your personal favorite?
Our favorite feature in QuestCraft?
Yeah, like among the new ones, I guess.
I personally, for me, I'd say the new and improved mod manager. It does make life a lot easier for people that don't want to constantly connect their headset to their PC or something to install a mod or anything, as well as how the mod manager now lets you create custom instances and stuff, including instances with Quilt support, which is a thing. I'm not sure if I brought it up, but Quilt will be supported in some form. So you'll be able to play Quilt-specific mods as well.
Personally, my favorite part of Mod Manager is the mod pack. I pushed it really hard.
And then your next question?
I don't know. It's only if you don't mind answering. Would you mind answering, like, giving a basic description of what you guys think your first game will be outside of porting Vivecraft to the Quest?
Right now, we're not entirely sure. We have a few things on the chopping block right now that we're looking into and getting work put into. So I can't really say for that. What I will say is that anything new will be coming out through Digital Genesis, as that's going to be our main work focus and our main company for everything after QuestCraft.
Hello?
Hello.
All right, I have 3 questions for you guys. The first one being, can we expect any mixed realities features for coming to Quest 3 Quest Pro?
So, mixed reality stuff is a really hard subject because it integrates a lot outside of the environment we work in. It would, if I were to do mixed reality support in some way. I'm assuming you're referring to something like the HoloLens demo.
Something along those lines. I was also thinking for a possibility of a new launcher.
For things like that, they'll most likely come to normal vivecraft first, simply because of the complexity with it, and then we would slowly integrate that into QuestCraft itself. As of right now, there's no plans for it. However, it is an idea we've been exploring in some way or another.
Okay. My second one being, is there any possibility for like a compatibility mode where we would be able to specify dead zones for our clients so that way we could play on non-Vivecraft compatible servers, such as like our vision being limited to interact with a certain line of sight, and
Well,
just
for things like
You mean
that,
just like in generic, like more vanilla behavior?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
more vanilla behavior. So what I'm assuming is like the sitting mode that we have in QuestCraft, or sorry, in Vivecraft. The issue with that is that you need to have a controller or keyboard and mouse connected to your Quest in order to do that, which you kind of can't do, as there is a issue with that. We may make a fix for that so you're able to do seated mode. However, at the moment, we haven't spent time on that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We did recently get contacted by the developer of Grim Anti-Cheat, who was talking about possibly getting our system a little more vanilla friendly for that, so we don't trigger an anti-cheat. So we're gonna work with him once we get some more the more important things ironed out.
Is there any possibility for SFTP to come to the mod manager?
That is a good question. So, with Android limitations, SFTP isn't as readily available anymore due to Android, I believe it was Android 10, implementing separated storage and stuff like that. So it may be possible. I'll look into that after this. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure about that. It is something that would be useful, so I will look into that.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
My question's Quest 3 specific.
Mhm.
With the Quest 3 performance increase and the mods that you guys use to make QuestCraft work on Quest 2, outside of the whole visual glitches and stuff, does it run a lot better?
Quest 3, it's kinda hard to measure the performance with the Quest 3 at the moment. However, what we have seen is we've been able to get around 65 to 72 FPS on the Quest 3, and possibly higher if we were to remove the FPS limit. So right now, I'd say expect around 60 FPS on the Quest 3, maybe a little bit higher. I do notice that the game is a lot more smoother in general, outside of frame rates, with things like frame spikes or large dips. So it should be a lot smoother of an experience in general.
Alright, so admit it is a bit more towards VR development, but if y'all are using any sort of like if you have a go-to computer to start getting into that, because I've been really considering it for a while and you guys have inspired me to do that. So yeah, if you've got any sort of advice on people who are trying to get into developing for VR stuff.
Well, what I'd say, hardware is a very fickle limitation, and when it comes to VR in specific, the performance you need isn't too high. However, it does depend on what you're trying to make. What I recommend you do is you get something simple. You can spend about $450 to $500 on a pretty base level system, something with about a 1080 Ti or better,
Okay.
and about 8 gigs of RAM. That's, almost any CPU will work. Just something around that range will be good enough for VR development. And what I recommend you do is you start off with something like Unity, and you just experiment with little ideas. Just whatever you can think of that, hey, it would be cool if I could do this, and then just do it. Just go out there and try it out, because in the worst case scenario, you don't get much done, but you did learn something, and you just go in and try again until eventually you get something you like. I mean, with QuestCraft, that's kind of how we went. We kept trying something over and over again, different ideas, different ways of doing it, learning from our past mistakes, and eventually QuestCraft became a thing. So it's definitely not an expensive thing to get into. You don't need to have a super powerful computer. Just whatever you can find with something better than about a 1060. I'd say a 1060 or better, and you'll be on your way to making VR games.
Fantastic, and that'll be all for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
My question is, do you think that the fork of vivecraft that you're using for QuestCraft would ever be updated to support newer versions such as 1.20.4 and 1.20.2 and so on?
I believe, did we not
We
release
support that on
122?
Patreon.
I thought we released 122 on Christmas.
We didn't release it to public. We only released it to Patreon.
QuestCraft, like I said towards the beginning, QuestCraft will have the latest Minecraft version for as long as we're here. At least for now, we'll be updating it as much as possible. Once the Quest 3 fix comes out, or I would say the bug fix build for Quest 2 and non-Quest 3 headsets, that build should have those versions. We mostly keep it up to date with the normal Vivecraft version, so that usually gets updated at the same time.
And my other question was that with some mods that alter the HUD, they tend to have issues with the Vivecraft itself. Do you believe that mods that alter the HUD in any sort of way would be supported in the future?
So that is really a Vivecraft issue. We base a lot of QuestCraft stuff on Vivecraft. Issues that spread across QuestCraft and Vivecraft should usually be reported to Vivecraft, and every now and then, if they affect enough QuestCraft users, we'll open a PR to base Vivecraft and give them changes so it'll work. But HUD, the problem with the HUD is that it just because of how Vivecraft does their rendering, it just becomes kind of difficult to make that more compatible. I'm sure it's possible, but I would suggest opening an issue on Vivecraft's repo and have them look at it first.
Hello?
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 So, is there any remote hope for the Vision Pro getting support?
Lord, I was waiting for this one. So
I can answer this. I can answer this. So, if you can somehow convince Apple to send us 2 free Vision Pros, maybe.
If you can convince them, if you can convince them to give us Vision Pros and someone sends us the money for a Vision Pro. Right now the answer's not really. I mean, even if we did have them, The issue we have is
No controller.
well,
They don't support OpenXR.
there's no controllers.
We'll figure
It's
that out.
very limited in the way we're able to interact with the actual like rendering on the headset. And just in general, it's, I mean, excuse my French,
Not
but
a
it's a
gaming
pain in the
headset.
ass to work with Apple products. So we can't really, I mean, I can say it's almost guaranteed that we won't do that, at least not for a few years from now. Maybe once Digital Genesis takes off more and we have more money to just spend
Can't
on
forget about
things.
Metal GL though. Can't forget about Metal GL.
Oh Lord, that we still need to have that conversation. We'll have that conversation after this.
You would have to go, and you would also have to go and port OpenXR to Vision.
Yeah.
Vision, whatever.
The TLDR is no, it's not a thing we even want to think about.
Okay. And speaking of Open Genesis, do y'all have like a web
Genesis.
or Digital Genesis? Do y'all have like a website or something where I can learn more about that?
Not yet.
Not at the moment. I am currently developing that. I hate web development, by the way, so I can't say when that'll be done.
I'll learn from my dad. Don't worry.
All right.
Before we finish off, I do want to say to everyone who's here, go and support the Patreon if you can. Do not throw money at us if you can't. Like, there's no one needs to make themselves poor for this. Don't get me wrong, I personally sold a kidney, like I'm one kidney down right now, but, you know, QuestCraft
You'll
has
get
to
it back.
QuestCraft.
You'll get it back.
Eventually I'll get it back. But again, thank you for everyone who has shown up for this amazing event. Also, let us know in general chat on the Discord if you want to see this more often. Maybe we can do a Q&A or maybe a live stage once or maybe twice a month. We'll
Twitch
see.
stream.
We're open to do more things like this. We do enjoy doing these kinds of things. Just takes time to set up and get everyone's schedules lined up. But we're happy to do more things like this. And well, yeah. So with that, thank you to all of you for coming out, chilling with us for QuestCraft's 3rd anniversary. Thanks everyone on the YouTube side and Twitch side for coming out and watching the stream. If you are on either of the platforms, make sure to follow, like, subscribe, whatever the equivalent is on both those platforms. And yeah, we'll talk to you everyone later.